Here's a bold thought. Most people don't fail all their goals because they lack discipline. They fail because the goal will never align with who they actually are or the life they're actually living.
Every January, we are told to aim higher, do more, fix ourselves faster. But what if the real work isn't about dramatic resolutions? What if it's about quieter, smaller, more honest changes we can actually sustain?
Happy New Year, friends. I am Nidhi. Welcome back to Chocolate and Spice Talk.
And I'm Neha, and if you're listening to this in early January, you might be in that weird space where your goals feel exciting but also kind of terrifying. Or maybe you've already broken them and you're wondering if you should just wait again for next year to try.
And that's why we are having this conversation. It's very different. We are not here to give you another productive system or tell you the right way to do things. We are just going to talk about our intentions, which is very different from pressure. We are going to talk about identity over outcomes and why small and unglamorous work might matter more than big transformation that we see online.
Yep, so grab your coffee or tea and let's get real about what intentionality actually means. And life isn't always perfectly created, and so are our goals. So let's get started. All right, Nidhi, I'll start with the first question for you, because you're a particularly like a goal-driven person. So when you hear the word goal, what's your gut reaction? Are you excited? Do you feel pressured? Are you scared?
Honestly, it depends on which version of me you're talking to. Like young Nidhi, it was all about like goals and spreadsheet excitement. I loved having like the full planned year. That felt very grounding. But there was a cost because everything was mapped out, and any deviation from there felt like a failure. Any setback became, oh, I didn't execute it timely. I'm already behind. The younger Nidhi always had this feeling of like a chip on the shoulder. I always had to do something and I always fell behind. But over time, the life has forced this on me. I realized like holding goals too tightly is very suffocating for me. It's not helping me in any way. So now I use the word intentions. And I know it's just a word, like who cares, goals, intention. But it's been very transformative for me. Like it's wild how much shift a word can bring because the way I internalize it in my brain. And especially after becoming a mother, I realized that I have to be more flexible in everything I do. I cannot be a planner the way I used to, where I had everything planned out because, kids are unpredictable, everything needs to be flexible. So I use intention instead of goal, and it does change everything. I'm still excited, but it's lighter. It's less of chasing, more of moving towards. The pressure exists, but it's different. um, so yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I'm more open to how I get there instead of how soon I can get there. Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I really liked your sort of clarification on the term that you use. But I do think the word that we use has importance, especially if we attach a certain connotation to a word. In my mind, goal has always been about certain expectations and being fixated with reaching a certain place. And that is not aligned with how I live my life. So I like to be very adaptable. I like to be very flexible and open-ended. And what that means is that if I, to your point, like if I create a fixation on a certain place that I want to reach, I would have put undue sort of pressure on myself for no reason. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be happy if I reach that place. I don't know if I'm going to be happy while doing that work. And so, just like you have the word intention instead of goal, I actually use a broader word, vision, which is, which is not like I have a vision for tomorrow to get. Like, vision is kind of like a broader, has a broader reach, and that gives me more peace and calm because then I know I'm in my own pace or at my own time working towards that vision and I'm okay with it. So I have honestly never, maybe when I was a teenager and I didn't know any better, and people were like, oh, let's set goals. Maybe I set some goals, but I don't remember any year that I have said, oh, this is the goal for this year. I just, if I have to set a goal, I would set it any day of the year, like any, like say work related goal or any personal goal. But I wouldn't wait for a year or for a situation to create a big, juicy goal.
But you
That's
were
how I operate.
always, yeah, you've always been a vision person. Like you have you've always been ahead of your time. Like even when you were a teenager, when the vision board concept didn't exist, you used to have vision boards, right? So you've always had that vision and you work towards it instead of like, the concept of smart goals or the traditional goal setting that is so trendy these days.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what like that's what brings me like I'll talk more about how I operate my life like from a sense of calm. And that's what you're right. Like even at 14 or 15, I used to have those vision boards. And the vision board was not about what's gonna be in my career or what's my score gonna be in high school. It used to be about who am I gonna marry? Am I gonna have kids? What will be my day-to-day look like 20 years from now, right? Like that was my vision at that time. And where exactly will I live? Where will I be walking? Those were my vision. And so yeah, that's how I think about even now. Like I'm in my mid 40s and I tend to have a vision for what happens when I'm not that active at work, or maybe I'll retire. I don't know. And so I work backwards from there, and that again brings me a sense of calm. But tell me more about your, intention. I think you don't want to use the word goal, but more about intentionality. So, tell me about any specific intention which got you very excited, and but what happened if it didn't go as planned?
All right. So I'm going to be sharing a little vulnerable story. This is a goal that I truly believed in. I set it for myself last year, and this was to go to more work-related meetups here in Austin. So I'm a product manager. There are wonderful work-related meetups here that happen very frequently. And I told myself once or twice a month, I'm going to go. I'm going to meet like-minded people, build a connection, build a network. I could picture it so clearly, showing up, having meaningful conversation. And then last year I didn't go to a single one of them. Not a single. I was like, and initially it was very easy for me to brush it off. Life got busy. I have a young kid, work is demanding, evenings disappear. But midway through the year, I was going through a job transition where I had to look for a new opportunity. And that was really intense and vulnerable time in my life. And in the middle of this, I remember thinking, how I wish I had been to these meetups. I would have had all the connections, all the networking, and there was a potential that I would have more options. And that is when everything went like crashing in, and I was frustrated. I felt guilty. I had all the self blame, self doubt. And because I had set a goal I actually cared for, I absolutely did nothing for it. And I was furious, like literally angry with myself. And it was very hard because I've always considered myself as somebody with a lot of discipline and self control and willpower. So it was a part of my identity. And when I couldn't follow through this goal, it wasn't just about the meetups or opportunity, it was about self trust. Like I remember thinking, if I can't trust myself with this, how am I able to going to trust myself with anything else? And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the person who wants to like wishes for something to happen and does nothing about it. I mean, it's not a very attractive trait, and I don't want to be that person. So and things got really complicated because it eventually worked out. Like eventually I got an opportunity, my existing connection came through. I was perfectly fine. But what stayed with me, unfortunately or fortunately, which still feels heavy to this date, is what if it hadn't worked out? you know if and why was I so hard on myself? Why am I still hard on myself? Because I would have failed twice. I go to the meetups and I wouldn't have gotten another job. So that forced me to confront something in me which was really uncomfortable, which is like the goal wasn't the problem was how unforgiving I was towards myself. And then also the way I set the goal was not achievable. My goal was too ambitious. Like instead of saying that I'm going to go to these meetups once or twice a month, and by the time the first quarter ended, March, I had not got to a single one of them, and I just gave up because I thought I'm already a failure. Like, what's a big deal? I didn't make it through, so I'm not going to. So this experience like forced me to completely shift how I think about goals. Like my focus is not on outcomes, but who am I becoming in the process? And also that I have to set like achievable goals. So that's a little bit of story of how things didn't work out and how it was a lesson for me last year that I'm not going to repeat this year. What about you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's an interesting story, but also I really liked what you said you learned from it, which is you had kept a goal without probably a thought on why you want to reach. Like the your rationale for that was very extrinsic, which is I'll potentially learn, I'll meet new people, maybe it'll help with my next job search. Or, but it could have been something else, which is I really enjoy meeting people and I am curious about what they do. And it wouldn't it could have been like from the point of openness versus this forced thing upon yourself, which is why I think you worried that because I did not do A, I will now not get B. And so, yeah, the intentionality was the thing that mattered here. For me, because like I said, I tend not to keep goals. So whether I reach them or not is irrelevant. Uh, and maybe that's why I operate the way I do. So and yeah, everybody keeps goals, right? Like we'll have smaller goals, whether we want it or not. But the thing is, because I keep it so open-ended, when I don't reach it, or if I don't reach it, I don't even realize I didn't reach it because I would have reached somewhere else. And if I do realize I didn't reach it, I'm fine with it. I'm like, okay, maybe this is not meant to be. This is the other goal. And so I'm okay with it. And there are many such examples. One example I'll talk about where I know I constantly fail. I have no solution to that, and that is I've always wanted to wake up super early. Like somehow in my mind, waking up super early is a great place to be. And I think it's the same thing which you did, which is you wanted to go hang out with the other PMs, but not know why. I want to wake up early. I don't know why. There is no reason. My son's all grown up. Like, why do I need to wake up that early? Do what? And so I tried to do it and I fail. Like it's a constant battle. I constantly fail. And that's because I sleep very late at night. And then I don't want to force too much on my body. So I'm uh, very clear about that. Like I don't want to do it for the sake of doing like and just sleep 6 hours. If I need to sleep 8 hours and if I've slept late, I'm gonna wake up late. And that's how it is. So I need to work out on why I want to wake up early and hopefully start waking up early. So that's one example. But there are other many such examples where, you know, you come along and you tell me, hey, this is another idea, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna switch my goal, and my goal just changes, and or it morphs into something else, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Like you remember the whole philosophy in my life, which is I'm not gonna put makeup on my face, right? And I've never done that. I like literally have never put foundation on my face. And I went to your place this time in December, and I don't know how it clicked. I'm like, okay, let me try foundation. And I used foundation and I felt okay about it. And so now my goalpost is different. I'm like, okay, maybe it's okay to put foundation because it didn't really it made me feel better and it made me probably look better. So yeah, like I have that sort of being
Something
very
clicks,
pliant.
right, for the goal.
Something
And
clicks.
something clicks. And also, do you remember you shared an Instagram post or a reel with me, which was like you need to have a reason behind uh,
Yes,
every goal or anything you want to achieve. If you don't have a solid reason, if you can't convince yourself, you will not be able to achieve it. The same thing with your sleep and same thing with my
right,
meetup. It's like you
right,
don't know why you want to wake up early in the morning. Yeah, I don't know.
right.
You'll have enough time to work out and meditate and everything. Then do you really need to wake up at 5 a.m.? Probably not. So
Probably not, right. So you have to figure out a way out. Like I was talking to Siddharth, your husband, about, how I'm interested in quantum physics and all. And I'm like, maybe that'll be the time when I can read about it. Maybe that will be a reason. So we'll see about that.
yeah.
Um,
And
but because, sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
Mhm.
Oh, I was gonna ask, like, because you are so good at planning and organizing, and you like to have time-bound goals. Do you today, like when you set your intentions or goals, do you make those measurable, and how disciplined are you, and how honest are you with those intentions?
Yeah, traditional goal setting doesn't really work with me anymore. I mean, I think they are too rigid. like the SMART goals. I already do that at work. I don't think I need to do that in my personal life. I need it to be a little bit more non-judgmental and a little bit more flexible. So what I started working that I wanted to share with you that I've been doing for the last couple of years with my husband is to do a personal retro. So what I've been doing is my husband and I sit down and we look at the entire year, the good, bad, and ugly, and we ask each other very honest questions like, what were the highlights? What went well? What didn't go well? What are we proud of? What would we like to change? What drained us? What gave us energy? And we do this across the core life buckets, which is like health, work, relationship, and money. And these are the things, shape our day-to-day life, so that works for us. And obviously as a partner and as two people bringing a son, like bringing up a son, it's important for us to do it together. So that's what we do. It has been working very well for us. The part that really makes it work is that it is really like relational. We are doing it together. It's not sitting alone, two people who are partners living in the same house with different spreadsheet. We hold each other accountable. We have conversation as partners, what matters and what we want in our life. And then what keeps it going is that on a quarterly basis we do like a casual check-in. It's mostly me. It's like, hey, how's it going? We talked about this. How do you think you're feeling, and so on. I'm more of a person who likes to like write things down, so I write it down. My husband is like totally against it. It's all in his mind, but he's crystal clear. His goals are very crystal clear in his mind. I am more like, I like to write it down and see how it's going. What have I achieved in first quarter, second quarter? And we are flexible, we have to be flexible. But yeah, instead of very smart goals, as people, we try to do more of like family goals. And that has worked out very well. Like, I'll give you an example. Like when we did the retro this year, one thing that I can share, which is not too personal, is that when we talked about what really went last year and we want to continue doing is travel. Like, yeah, last year we traveled a little bit here and there. And when we started talking about the highlights, those were the things we remembered. Like, oh my God, do you remember we went to Utah? We went to Houston to the NASA Museum. We went to India. That was so much fun. We went to Port Aransas Beach. So all of those travels were highlights. Like, oh, so this is what is giving us so much energy. So that went into the relationship and the money bucket, because you have to budget for all the international trips we want to take, and all it's going to help expose Vikram to different cultures, my son, and it'll bring us joy. We can build core memories. So yeah, these kind of goals really work for us right now. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. I mean, it's always commendable on how organized you are and how well you kind of you and Siddharth both sit down and talk about these things and work at it as a group. I won't say I have any such system in place. I am very much in my mind kind of person. Like I have tried to create to-do lists and write a diary and all of that. Inevitably, by third day, I will not read it. And so, because I'm a vision person, the whole vision is in my head. And then I've been working, I work backwards from that vision. So I know, like, because it's all in my head, I know I am slowly inching towards it. And because I have a very, or at least I try to have a more unhurried way to life, which is, you've seen me, right? I will take time. Like I take time. Sometimes I'll just stand. Sometimes I'll just sit and think. And those are the times when I think, like as I analyze, I consider what my vision is. Am I reaching that vision? And I don't do it methodically. Like that's the catch. I don't do it methodically. It's just intrinsically I'm doing it. An
And
example
it
of
is
that.
very clear. Yeah, and it is very clear. I just want to commend you. I know it's easy for me to speak about it because I'm such a planner and I write things down, but I've seen you visualize it, your whole house renovation. You're figuring out what sits well with your gut, your whole other like health transformation. Like you had a vision for it and you made it happen. I mean, it might not be like 1st January to the next 1st January, it might be the middle of the year, but you have a vision and you truly work towards it. It's like the elimination process that you have works wonders.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what like um the thing that I wanted to share this example in case it helps someone is I'll take the example of our house, right? Like we bought this house about 10 years back. It is a certain kind of a house. My husband and I, we were okay with it at that time with the constraints that we had. Um, but I always had a vision. I always knew what I wanted with that house. I always knew I wanted a front yard where I can walk through my garden and into my home. And I always knew the door that I wanted, Nidhi. If you remember, I always wanted a red door. And
Yeah.
I always wanted a house that was full of windows where every window I look out, I see greenery. That is what I dreamt of for 10 years. For 10 years. And I dreamt of this on the day we bought the house. I was like, this is what I would have wanted. And it took us a while. It took us 9 years. We last year, or I'm forgetting the exact date, we started sort of expanding our house. And I could now finally expand the house into the way I wanted and make the changes the way I wanted. And so now I'm sitting in that space where I'm surrounded by windows everywhere. I'm literally looking out and seeing trees in every single direction, mountains in every single direction. And so I have that thing. And if I had like hurried at that time, like 10 years back, and said, I want it tomorrow, it was not going to happen. Like, we didn't have the right situation in life to be able to do it. So I just knew it was going to happen. Maybe we'd change our house, maybe we'd live somewhere else, and maybe we'd expand this house. I didn't know how, but it happened. Maybe because I constantly thought about it. So hopefully, if somebody's like me or like more introverted or has things in their head, it's okay. Like sometimes we are forced into believing, oh, we got to have 5 apps and we got to have 5 notebooks and everything must be noted down and everything must be tracked. It's not, everybody's different and it's not required, and things may still work out.
And to point out the difference between you and me, it's like how different we are. It's like your visions are, or your goals are so long term too, right? I mean, it took you 9 years to be where you are and you stuck by it and you made it happen. I don't know if this is a shortcoming in me or now I'm having all kind of self-doubt. My goals are never this long term. My goals, it's very vague. Like I have a long-term goal that I want to help my son do something. I want to travel more, but it's never the way you think. Like, the vision, I feel your vision is like 10 years down the line. My vision is very short term, like 2 or 3 years down the line. So it's
Okay.
yeah, I know it's
Yeah.
okay, each their own, but it's like I'm not able to visualize that far off in
Yeah.
in in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. And
So
that's totally okay. Because what I want to emphasize is that though I wanted this feeling that I have right now, there are 1,000 ways I could have reached this feeling. And it's this feeling I was after, right? And I could have gone and lived in another city. I could have bought another house. Maybe I didn't have all these windows. Maybe I had pictures around me. I don't know.
mhm,
So maybe I evolved. I
yeah.
don't know.
Mhm,
So I feel like the way I operate is, it's gonna be a little spiritual and philosophical, but it's like life is like a breeze, or life is like a slow moving river or fast moving river, whichever situation you're in. And if we go along with that, it's smoother. It's better, it's faster, it's calmer, and that gives me a lot of peace. And so I'm generally after peace. My husband often says, hey, you have all of these ideas, you have all of these plans, and you're constantly moving towards it. I'm like, but I'm trying to do it with the pace of my life, with whatever the situation is taking us. If it's not going to happen today, it's okay. If it's not going to happen tomorrow, it's perfectly okay. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it'll not. Hopefully, I will still be okay. So that, I think that is the thing. I think you have a vision as well. I'm sure you think about 10 years from now, once Vikram has grown up, you want a certain kind of life.
mhm,
And all I do is like, I'm like, it's okay if today I don't have it.
mhm. Yeah, I think we're on this topic, so I'll ask you that, like, who are you becoming? Instead of asking what do you want to achieve, like I want to ask you, what do you want to become, and how does that change your answer?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I have recognized about myself that I'm essentially a calm person. Like I used to think this is what I want to become until like I did an analysis of my past and realized I've always been a calm person, probably to a fault. And now I'm trying to move a little faster, move with the times, or hone myself to the current career or situation I'm in. So for me, what do you want to become? I want to become what I am. I don't want to become anyone else, anybody else. I have finally understood who I am, and I really want to continue being that person because I like that person. So I want to be a calm person who is kind first and foremost to myself and to everyone else. I like to be curious about things, learn things. So I would like to be curious and learn. And I don't want to fear anything. Anything that I am doing, any situation I'm in, I want to be fearless. And all of that again goes back to the fact that I want to be calm. So
So
I
that's
want to
the
be
word for
myself.
2026 for you, right?
Just be myself. Just be calm. Don't forget who I am. Don't forget who I
That's
am.
beautiful. Yeah.
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 Yeah. How about you?
Um, for me, I would love to say calm, but the the stage of life that I am in, the this year, my word is audacious, and I choose this because everything that I want to achieve this year is outside my comfort zone. It's bolder, and it requires real effort. Like I'll give you a few examples that will help you visualize it. It's like from a health perspective, I do want to lift heavier. Like I do want to not only lift heavier, I want to do pull-ups. And that's hard. Like pulling your weight up is hard. So I know this is audacious because it's going to require a lot of effort, a lot of patience, and it'll probably require a couple of months for me to even build up a strength to keep hanging for like more than a minute. And professionally, audacious for me means saying yes to opportunity that stretches me. So my company does a lot of road shows, and what that means is a product person, like the profession that I am in, can go and speak about the product on road shows. What that means is more of traveling, and this is optional for me. It's mostly done by marketing, so I have to opt in to do this, and it's open for me to do it, but that requires travel, that requires planning, logistic with a young child, but it is visibility, growth, and learning, something that I want to do. So my goal, instead of doing one roadshow every month, is like if the first half of the year I do one roadshow, that's good enough. And I can make it happen because every month is a roadshow. So that's one of the goal. And in relationship, I want to take a trip alone with my husband. Like from the time Vikram, my son, has been born, we have never taken a trip alone. We'd go out for a dates, but I want to see if I can make that happen for me. So again, it's audacious because it requires a lot of planning. It requires may figuring out where will the kid be. It feels bold and it does feel necessary. And then there are a few other things like music and painting I want to engage my kid in, requires money, requires more time, because after work I'll have to take him to a place where he can learn all of those things. So again, a lot of effort, a lot of boneless, because I have to engage with him, which I don't do right now. He goes to sports, but he's not in music anymore, but I do want to encourage him to do that. So in this situation, what I love about this framing is becoming audacious is that it takes the pressure of perfection. It's not about like ticking boxes or hitting every target. It's about asking, like, does this choice align with who I want to become? And it's really helping me. So this year is all about like being a little bit more uncomfortable but doing things I've always wanted to do. So yeah, that's a word for the
Yeah.
year.
And as you were saying all of these things, I thought to myself, how similar we could be, but how differently we approach the same thing. Because when you talked about, I want to lift heavier and I want to do pull-ups, I kid you not, only a couple of days back, I was thinking to myself, or I was telling my son, hey, I'm going to be doing pull-ups one day. And I did not put a time frame to it. So I might do a pull-up when I'm in my 50s. Who knows? I'm totally okay with it. Like, I don't want to force myself to lift 25 or 30 pounds by tomorrow or pull-ups by mid-year, but I want to do pull-ups one day. And I'm horrible at it because I can't even hang. Like, I have got very, very weak upper torso. But I want to do the same thing. And so yeah, I mean, I was like,
That's the thing. Like you haven't put the pressure that it's your 2026 goal. It's your life goal,
it's my
right?
life goal. Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, unless I make it like goal for next year, I'm such a management kind of a person, like planner. So if I don't hang like if I don't hang every day for like 30 seconds or more, I just feel I won't be able to get there. Because also maybe our lives are very different. I am
Yeah.
responsible for a young child. I have like so many things going on. If I don't prioritize it, it might never make space in my timetable, right? So
100%. And that is true. And that is true. Like for me, one of the things that I want to do this year is plant more of my garden.
mhm.
And there is a good chance I might not be able to do it. But I have this vision that this is going to be my garden. This is going to be all the flowers. These are the butterflies that are going to come. So hopefully that desire to see those flowers and those butterflies will inspire me to actually build that garden. So yeah, that is actually one of the goals. All
All right.
right. So
I have a question for you. So,
yeah.
how aligned are you to your goals or intentions with those values right now, honestly? Like, maybe just give me a few examples that if you feel comfortable sharing some of your goals and what do you have?
Um, so yeah, again, like I said, I'm a vision kind of person. One of the vision for me is that I want to be as strong physically. I want to be as strong and healthy as I can be. Now, there is obviously no guarantee to any of that thing, but I will try to. And as I am at the cusp of perimenopause, or probably already in perimenopause, um, I know that I need to get my bones stronger. I need to build my muscles. And so one of my vision is to be a very like strong person in terms of strength training. So I am actually aligning my workout towards that. And I actually do strength training almost 5 days a week at this point. And that is one way I'm aligning myself, right? The other things are I'm already at a place where I feel like I'm calm and I've kind of reached the situation, but just like I pointed out, I want to have my outdoors. I want to spend more time a little outdoors doing outdoor thing like gardening. And so I'm gonna spend more time doing that, which is not a stretch for me because I absolutely love gardening. So the moment it stops raining outside, I can actually go and plant seeds. So those are some examples of where my vision aligns with my day-to-day actions and as I'm moving towards it. And again, I'm focusing a lot on my situation and my body as I'm perimenopausal because I'm trying to be very mindful of, say, what I'm eating and the situation I let myself go into, whether at work or life. And so who are the people I'm surrounding myself with? Like, you know, am I doing the kind of thing that my body is able to handle and be happy with in life? So I will be picking up those things, and I hope to be more mindful. One other example that I wanted to give is, um, at work and in my life, I have to make a lot of decisions. And so I want to reduce the decision fatigue and I want to make sure I can operate from a place of calm rather than rush, which is a fact of life, if especially in corporate jobs. And so I'm resetting my daily routines and I'm resetting what I see around myself. I generally believe in keeping a very calm household. And I had noticed that my closet and things that are out of sight were chaotic. And so things that are out of sight are where I'm resetting. So nobody else will see it but me. But I am very important and my mind's very important. So I literally spent my last week resetting those things in my house. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you one example of what I'm doing is I have always wanted to read the book A Little Life. Have you heard of this book?
Not
So
really.
reading comes naturally to me. So I read every day before bedtime. No matter how tired I am, I'll read a couple of pages. It's mostly nonfiction book, the easier reads, like 300, 400 pages that I'm able to like finish in like a month or a couple of months or so. And it works out perfectly for me. But there's one book that is called A Little a Life, and it's 1,500 pages, so it's a thicker, longer book. I've been wanting to read it for years. It's supposed to be a powerful, emotional, life changing book, but I kept putting it off because I was intimidated by the length. But this year, I was like, what the hell? I mean, who cares? I mean, it's long book, and I know it's going to take me a couple of months to finish it, but who cares? How does it matter how long this take? It's for me. I'm doing it for myself. I might finish it in like 6 months, a year. Doesn't matter. Even if I don't finish it, like, doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? So this year, I mean, we are recording first week of January, and this year I started reading this book. I'm already 100 pages in, and I'm so proud of myself. But this is something very audacious for me because a couple of years back, I would have stressed us about whether I could finish it in the first quarter, whether I would leave it incomplete, but that's not me anymore. So this is like a small change in me that I'm doing. I'm not being afraid, like I'm being patient with myself. I don't need any external validation. And just, it is like I'm not doing it for anybody else or just thinking if I'm going to achieve it or not. Is just something I've been wanting to do not be intimidated by how big the book is, how difficult it is going to be, and just go with it. So yeah.
I love it. I love it.
And it's so big.
Yeah.
I'm so used to easy reads. So, like a more difficult 1500-page book, which is very, very, it's about trauma and it's very life changing. I've heard so many good things, but the moment I see the length and I'm like, oh my God, this is too much work. But I finally pulled the plug. So that feels good.
I'm so glad. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing, right? Like when you leave out the fact that you have to impress somebody or get validation, and you do it for yourself, it just gives you a sense of peace that very few things give. And as you were talking about a book, I remembered this very beautiful verse I read in Rabindranath Tagore's Gitanjali, and it goes, I mean, I was thinking the whole time, so I'm just going to say it. So the verse is, on the day when the lotus bloomed, alas, my mind was straying, and I knew it not. My basket remained empty, and the flower remained unheeded. And
Mhm.
it's beautiful. It's like, so if you were asking me what would be my intention on how would I align my values, it's literally this, like, look at every flower, look at everything, be there. Please notice it. It's not gonna come back. It's gonna keep going, right? So yeah,
Beautiful. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So one of the last questions that I have for you is, do you want to share any time that you felt like you achieved something that looked good on the paper, but it didn't feel right? And did it teach you anything?
Yeah, so in terms of like being a people pleaser, yes, I've been a people pleaser for, for a lot of my life, and I've tried to do things to make others happy. And so because I don't actually have fixed goals, those goals are not meant for anybody or anything on paper. And that way I don't have that problem, which is it's not like I've reached something on paper and then not been happy or felt flat. And also, like, if I start feeling flat about something, I will change my goal. Like, I'm totally okay with changing my goalpost and morphing my goalpost. And so it keeps me flowing naturally. For me, like I said, it's all about how can I bring that sense of calmness in myself? How can I be kind to myself? How can I be kind to everybody else? And how can I be as fearless as I can? And as long as those desires of my life are met, I am happy. I don't know. I don't think I answered your question, but do you have any?
No, I think you'll agree with the example that I'm going to give. I don't know if you've read the book from the about tidying up and sparking joy by Maria Kondo.
Marie Kondo, yeah.
Right, yeah. So she inspired me to redo my wardrobe, and this was like 3 years back. And I started, you know, asking each piece of cloth, like, does it spark joy? Did I wear it in the last couple of years? And I was decluttering, and I was getting rid of so much. I felt so productive. My husband was like so impressed with me, but it was not feeling right. And I realized that I was not setting the goal properly. I was getting rid of old stuff, but I was still buying new stuff. So I would like get rid of 10 things, but I would buy five new things. And it was that vicious cycle. So I realized, and at that time, maybe I didn't have the wisdom or the foresight, but now I do. Like last couple of years, I've learned that I wasn't moving towards the minimalistic lifestyle I thought I wanted. Like what I wanted, and what I realized this later was that I wanted quality over quantity, that I wanted to buy like high quality item that will last me longer. But instead I was just churning through clothes, and my gut kept telling me that maybe just look at what you're doing. You're ticking a checkbox because you want to declutter, but are you really learning anything? Are you like changing your behavior? You are just rearranging the deck chairs. So this taught me something, like external achievements means nothing if you're not aligned with like internal transformation. So yeah, this is something that taught me. And now in last like a year or so, we have talked about this too. Like we are prioritizing quality over quantity, like trying to be more sustainable, try to like declutter, but mindfully. So that was one lesson. Like I had set the goal a couple of years back, but I was not doing any justice to what was the main goal that I wanted to achieve. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think clothes and things we buy, the physical things we buy, can easily lead us into sort of a black hole of purchase because, you know, marketing is so good, right? We always get attracted to something or the other. And that's why keeping a goal there is really hard. And I agree with you. Like for me as well, when I say reset my wardrobe, it was really about just making sure I have everything that I wear and that's visible and that's easily, I can pull out easily. For example, for today's podcast, um, I was like, because I'd already arranged my wardrobe, I was like, okay, I want to feel warm and I want to wear a calm color, and this was very visible, and I really didn't put any more thought into it than just pulling that sweater and putting that sweater on. And because I knew I had a gray earring, I just put on a gray earring. So it's a very simple example, but it creates that more of that mindfulness. So yeah, I'm glad like you move towards the intentionality of it rather than the act of
Mhm.
showing something.
All
Yeah.
right. So I think my biggest takeaway from this conversation is a shift from goals to identity that changes everything. And it's not about what you achieve, it's about who we are becoming, right? And that's the real change happens.
Yeah, so yeah, if you are listening to and relating to the struggle, the uncertainty, and the gap between who you are and who you're becoming, you're not behind. You're not broken. We're all there. We're all learning. We all have different ways of reaching that same place. We all want to be the best that we can be. And, we're all human. And we always create community and friends and partners around us to help us with that. So we should all reach towards that community, and this podcast is definitely community, so feel free to reach out to us and chat with us. We'd love to.
Yeah, please share your story, ask a question, and let us know that you are here. This is a conversation that we would love to have. We genuinely love hearing from you. What resonated with you? What are you struggling with right now? So yeah, keep the conversation going.
Yeah. And also, you can find us at chocolateandspicetalk.com. That's our website where we post a lot of the blog posts and behind the scene pictures and actions that we go through. We also have an Instagram account, and you can hear our podcast on anywhere that you get your podcast. And please send us messages, and please feel free to send us emails or write a comment. And if you want to join our podcast, you're more than welcome. We love having everybody on our podcast.
All right. Thank you for
Right.
spending time with us. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.